Hey guys, Wise Gamer here, bringing you an indie game review. This time we're looking at Moon Hunters, an amazing game that just came out on Steam March 10th, so about just under 2 weeks ago, by Kit Fox Games. This is a game that you definitely do not want to miss, and I want to show you guys the entire thing. You can pick it up for about 15 bucks on Steam. If you see it early enough, there is a 10% off sale. It's $13.50 right now on Steam as of the video, so definitely check it out. I'll have the links down in the description. With that being said, let's hop right into the review. So Moon Hunters. This game is just crazy good. It completely blew me away that I saw mixed reviews on Steam. I'm not really sure, I don't like being biased, so I didn't want to read those reviews on why people are rating it negatively, but let me just tell you what this game's about and why you're going to enjoy it so much. So basically the theme of this is that it's kind of set in a time where you have kind of like the Norse gods and stuff like that. You look to the constellations for your god. There's followers of the sun and followers of the moon, the two celestial bodies obviously around Earth, and you are one of the heroes basically of the land, and you're going out to set out on this path and this journey to form your own destiny, form your own legend basically of yourself. And what I mean by that is this crazy unique thing that they do inside the game. So basically, first of all, it's a 1 to 4 player co-op game. So you can play single player or up to 4 player co-op, local or online, though the online's currently in beta right now, so just kind of keep that in mind. It's a little buggy possibly. I played with controller, so it has full controller support. I've used it on Steam Link, it works just fine. And as you go through, it kind of plays like a Diablo type game, or like Torchlight, that type of like top-down game where you have like mages and warriors and stuff like that. But it is nothing like that in the way the story works or anything like that at all. So generally, the objective is that you're trying to go on a journey to regain the trust of the moon and have the moon goddess come back to you, basically. The moon didn't appear at the annual Moon Fest, which is like a yearly celebration where you celebrate the rising of the full moon again, and it didn't appear for some reason, so everyone thinks the god is angry, and they look to you to find out what to do. So you can make these different decisions in the game that affect you not only in your current playthrough, but future playthroughs as well. So one of the things that happened, for example, on one of my runs, I learned how to speak with spirits. So all future runs, I'm able to speak with spirits now. And anytime I talk to a spirit, originally it was saying they speak in a tongue that you don't understand, or you hear whispers, but you don't have any clarity here. And then basically the next time I was able to unlock that, now all future runs I can talk to the ancients. And there's also a part on here in one of the towns where I tried talking to an animal, but it says I can't talk to animals right now. I have to find someone who can teach me how to speak with animals, which is something I want to do still. So you kind of have this effect of future runs impact on your previous runs, and then the choices you make actually give you these different character traits too. So you can become vengeful if you make choices where you want to get revenge on everyone and stuff like that too. You can become cunning and greedy. You can get compassion, bravery, all this different stuff, seduction too. And I know that there's different endings in the game based on what type of character you are. I know one of the times I fought it said, maybe if your character was more seductive, you were able to change the outcome of this fight when you fight the final boss. And basically the game plays out in a day system. I want to say there's 4, maybe 5 days, and it takes maybe 30 to 45 minutes to play through a full set basically. And once you complete it, your hero actually becomes idolized in the stars if you beat the game. So basically what happens is you have all these constellations that you see. Some of them are things like I unlocked the constellation of the ancients, it allows me to speak to spirits. However, other ones are you've unlocked the river worlds now, where you've unlocked mountains. I had a constellation where it was you are the I can't remember. I've seen wizard staff, shield, stuff like that, but I had a constellation named after me basically, and it's you are a wise ritual. This constellation is named after you because you were so cunning in your abilities to do this, this, and this. I know my roommate's son was playing with me. He was under there, and he got the spider one time because he was so cunning that he spun webs across the empire basically, and had people listening everywhere along his webs. So it was really interesting. The gameplay you have, you wind up being idolized in the stars, and then future gameplay, sometimes they actually talk about you and your previous hero, and we'd be oh, I remember this one person who was so brutal all the time, but also so brave and so compassionate, that type of thing. There's also these different things every night you kind of finish a level, you camp out, and you get to make these different skill choices. So you can choose to moon gaze, and while you moon gaze, these different events will happen as well that you have to make choices. You can hunt, you can cook, and cooking has all these different recipes to unlock, and all these different things that make the gameplay completely awesome and randomized every time you play through it. That just is going to make you want to keep coming back for more and more and more. You kind of get this whole mythological journey, and you just have your own legend basically built up around you. It's so cool. As you go through, there's like all these different locations and landmarks that all have potential hidden adventures for you to go on, different NPCs to talk to. Usually it's a choice of like A or B, like you either want to do this or that. You can sometimes tell what the outcome's going to be, sometimes you can't, and it's just so crazy cool the way they did it. So I know that's a lot of gameplay elements, but there's just so many unique elements in the game. I absolutely loved everything they did. There's these different starting towns depending on where you start, changes the placement on the map. The map's almost like a D&D style where you can only travel so far, and like the gameplay plays is like Dungeons and Dragons in a way too, where you know your decisions, you're like, well, I choose to try to lift off this tablet. Okay, you kind of like roll the dice basically based on your character sheet, and it's like, oh, you know, you weren't able to, perhaps next time someone more strong will be able to. So if you had more strength, you would have been able to unlock that event, whatever that was. You know, it'll say stuff like the elders are discussing their children. Maybe if you were more prideful, you can boast about your own journeys, you know, that type of thing. So there's like all this different stuff. It's so cool. And then in the end, like I said, you get these like constellations named after you, and those go into a menu that you can check anytime. Only one person can hold a constellation, so you can replace them over time. If you unlock them all and you wind up getting the same constellation, you can just kind of replace the old person if you want, or you can choose to keep the original person if you want to do that as well. So it's really cool. I really like that part of it. So enough about the gameplay, let's move into the visuals of it. Sorry for the little bit longer video this time, but this game definitely deserves a great review here. So visually, this game is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. I love the tile sets as you unlock different areas. If you go to like every desert area, like they all kind of use the same tile set, every forest uses the same tile set, but as you unlock new areas like new towns and like the river areas and the mountain areas, you get these cool tile sets. There was a section where like we crossed a bridge and there was these mountains in the background and kind of like a volcano looking thing. It was like the most beautiful thing ever. I was going to take a screenshot and make a thumbnail, but I had a little bit different thumbnail in mind that shows some different gameplay elements, so I did that instead. But it's just such a beautiful game, and I really enjoy it. I would love to see like an art book or something like that. Audio-wise, it's great. I really want to do some type of like soundtrack purchase here. I know you can get the soundtrack for like $9, I think it is. Maybe $10 normally, $9 right now. Or you can buy the soundtrack when you buy the game originally. So the game's $15, you can buy the game for $20, so you get like a little bit of a discount basically. Get the soundtrack half off roughly. It is absolutely amazing. So we unlocked a character called the Song Weaver. You get to see her in here. She is extremely difficult to play as, by the way. And she like plays these songs, and like when you first see her and you interact with her, you say, you know, you want to listen to her songs, or you can dance to her songs, and you can start hearing them throughout the different lands, and they're just so well done. It's such an original soundtrack, and it just really sets the mood for this like mythological age that you are living in. It is great. It just so completely immersifies you, and I could listen to it all day and just mellow out to it. It's so great. Replayability wise, I've talked about this quite a bit with the gameplay, but just kind of go into those unique mechanics. So basically, to recap, first of all, it's single player or multiplayer, local co-op or online. You have like these parties. If you have just a little less than an hour, you can play together, complete one full sitting, almost like a board game would be, and then go back and come back a different time and get something different each time. There's multiple different classes to unlock as well. You can unlock character skins for them, so they actually look different. You can see there's like a little bit of a color palette, stuff like that during the character selection. We actually unlocked additional color palettes, like ancient palettes and stuff like that too, so that was kind of a cool thing that we could see. And then of course there's the different classes you can unlock, like we unlocked the Song Weaver that I mentioned. There's the 37 constellations, I want to say it is, so there's a whole bunch of different constellations to unlock that give you either more gameplay elements, like more places to go to, or it gives you things like more characters to unlock, being able to speak to ancients, or it's just an idealization of a previous gameplay. There's something like 90-something recipes while cooking, and all those recipes give you different stat bonuses, and once you learn them, you can redo them in the future, and that way you can kind of combine your stuff and get the stats that you want. But unlocking those recipes is a whole nother part of the replayability. Every time you play the game, it winds up acting different because you make different choices and choose different places on the map. It's really crazy. I mean, like, talk about a game mode plus, right? Like, you just get to go in and you get to hear about the previous journey that you got to take, and you get to see them in the stars. Just a crazy cool way to idolize characters and really bring you back to the game. You know, for drawbacks, I really don't have any. I just tried thinking of them. I started recording it and I was like, you know what? I don't think there's any drawbacks that I can honestly think of right now. It's fairly priced, great soundtrack, great audio, great visuals for everything. I love the gameplay. Maybe one of the drawbacks is some of the characters are hard to play as, I guess. Like the Song Weaver was really difficult, and I found Melee just to be difficult in general. But I mean, there's plenty of classes to play as. You can play however you like. So Really, I don't think there's any drawbacks at all. I completely recommend this game. Overall, I can't recommend it enough. I can't say enough good things about this. I literally played for like over 5 hours straight when I was doing the review. I stopped recording, I just kept playing runs and runs and runs. I've done like 3 or 4 runs all the way through now, and I stopped a couple halfway because I was trying different things out. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to keep playing this game for a long time and turn it into a nice like board game night, but on a console basically with my Steam Link. So that being said, guys, I have all the links down below to the information on Steam. Definitely tell the devs that I sent you. I'm gonna have my review on Steam as well, so if you checked it out there, let me know. Definitely trying out the Steam review thing lately, so let me know if you came from Steam. Otherwise, guys, I do these reviews 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm also doing a Let's Play on Stardew Valley currently, and I'm hoping to do some other discussions and topics like that soon. I meet with a lot of indie devs locally. I'm going to a studio in a few weeks here, so I'm gonna be meeting with them. I'm actually getting involved with a local convention as well that's kind of like a GDC, but locally. So a lot of things on the table, a lot of stuff to come, so definitely hit that subscribe button to see it all, support me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, have a great day, bye-bye.